Anthony Joshua.
Aren't many fighters not named Canelo Alvarez that can pack 70,000 in the house, but this is par for the course for Anthony Joshua.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
World, Anthony Joshua.
This man has become an icon in many ways for what he's been able to do outside of the ring.
Rank Jake Paul if he wins this fight, and that will put him in position at least to fight for a world title. Whatever you want to say about Jake Paul, we were all there.
Fight that's captured the imagination and generated huge interest. Two men who split opinion, a fight that splits opinion. It has to be the most eagerly anticipated 8-rounder that any of us.
The fight between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul will be full of excitement. Joshua has strong power, lots of experience, and an Olympic background. Jake Paul uses his speed, surprise moves, and unshakable confidence.
Rock, they said no photos, Rock. Huh? They said no photos.
Okay, we'll do that, yeah.
But this is what we signed up for, and he's very tall, but that means I can use my speed and my size to my advantage as well.
Experts are arguing about the fighters' game plans, expecting the first rounds to be explosive. Both boxers are in top shape, making this one of the most exciting matchups. Jake Paul is going into this fight with a confidence that even experts didn't expect. People who've watched him say he truly believes he can step up and win. Unlike some of his past fights, Paul is very focused and determined this time. Analysts say his mindset is key, and his confidence shows he is ready both physically and mentally. This shows he knows how big it is to face a former heavyweight champion, and he sees it as a chance to prove himself to the world.
He's very big. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation. We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight, was in Miami against Gibb. I'm bringing that same energy here. First round KO.
BJ Flores, a well-known boxing expert and former fighter, takes a more careful view. He says that even though Anthony Joshua may not be in his best form anymore, this fight is still a huge challenge for Jake Paul. Flores explains that Joshua's experience, size, and skill make things very tough for someone who hasn't fought top-level opponents yet. He warns that taking this fight now could be risky for Jake and that slowly facing stronger fighters first might have been a safer choice for his career.
Sick and losing to Andy Garcia, I don't think that means you're punchy. I think that means he's fought the best fighters, the best heavyweights over the last 15 years, and he's fallen short, of course. But he's a very, 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 he's a very big man. He's got that Olympic pedigree, and that makes the fight against him very difficult.
It does indeed, what do you think is the upside? There's always an upside for this fight against Jake. I guess if I play sort of the viewer's perspective, what people are saying on Twitter, they're saying it's a win-win for Jake. You fight a two-time former heavyweight world champion in Anthony Joshua. If you get knocked out, it's no big deal. And if you lose, if you get knocked out, you get the respect of the public as well for taking the fight. If you win, you're the king,
Yeah. The upside is, I think, I don't know. Like, everyone's like, oh, I respect Jake. I'm just like, it's just crazy that you would have to fight, a former world heavyweight champion, 6'6", 240-pound gold medalist. That's the only way you get people's respect. Like, there's a lot of other ways. Like, and if you don't get everybody's respect, those people just don't really understand boxing. Like I said, I feel like this fight is a little early for Jake. Obviously, I would like to see him fight one heavyweight before this fight happened, at least one heavyweight, and then maybe see him, be in there with a guy world rated in any weight, cruiserweight, heavyweight, anything before you go in with a guy like Anthony Joshua. It's just a massive difference on the size and the power and win everything. But I guess, if the objective is to make people talk and make people say, oh man, he's crazy, then he's getting exactly that. He's getting what he wants. So to me, it doesn't make sense. This fight doesn't make sense to me at all, but I think it would be there down the road. I'd much rather see like a Canelo fight than an AJ fight. It's just.
Joey Knight pushes back against people who doubt Jake Paul as a real fighter. He points out that Paul has true punching power. Knight says the way Jake can challenge a pro boxer shows he's not just a joke or a show. This proves he has real skill, which supports Jake's belief that he's ready to face Joshua with a real chance to compete.
You must be smiling and frowning at the same time. You must be smiling because it's happening and you're getting a mega payday. But surely you must be frowning at the fact that this kid and others out there believe that he stands a chance of even beating you. And look, if the stars align, maybe Jake Paul could close his eyes, he could put his head down, he could throw a punch sent from the heavens and he could clip AJ on the chin with it. But even if he does, I'd put my money on it that it doesn't do anything. I don't think it does anything to Anthony Joshua, even if Jake Paul does manage to clip him, because Joshua's never been hard to hit anyway. But the difference between getting hit by a Jake Paul and getting hit by a Daniel Dubois is monumental. And even that is an understatement. And the difference for Jake Paul in getting hit by a Nate Diaz compared to an Anthony Joshua is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. What do you think AJ would do to Nate Diaz? What do you think AJ would do to Tommy Fury? Come to think about it, what do you think Francis Ngannou would do to Jake Paul? And look at how that went. So either way, what I'm saying here is quite simple. Right? Jake's style is very, very easy for Anthony Joshua to navigate. And that is even if the skill set between the two were on par. Because although he's getting better at them, Jake still makes many, many fundamental flaws. He leans over his front foot when he jabs, and that's a problem because when you do that, you're always going to have the potential to be countered when you lean over that front foot.
Experts say there is a huge experience gap between the two fighters. Anthony Joshua has faced some of the toughest heavyweights of his time. Even after a 14-month break, his past battles with champions and powerful opponents give him experience Jake Paul has never seen. Analysts explain that Joshua's skill, smart movement, and ability to adjust under pressure are challenges that go far beyond strength. They warn that the fight may depend more on Joshua's experience than pure athletic ability.
Correct me if I'm wrong, right? And just to clarify, I don't class Otto Wallin as a very competitive fight. Every competitive fight that AJ is in from now until the end of his career and has been in for the last few years, I believe has taken something out of him. Every time he's in a competitive fight, even when he's won, and I'm not saying taken out of him to the extent where he's no longer a good fighter, no longer can do anything, but every single one has taken one out of him. So let's say, for example, you go down the Tony Yoka route and you can sell it as the 2 Olympic gold medalists and whatever. It's a lose-lose, mate. You're expected to knock him out. If you don't, then you go the distance. I think that's going to take something out of you. I actually think that this could be better prep for a Tyson Fury fight. Not just
mentally as well, because he smokes him and it looks great, and then he's confident.
This is what I'm saying, right? Not just from a stylistic boxing standpoint, but from the mental standpoint of the fact that if you go in there and you smoke Jake Paul, straight away, all of a sudden, it's headline news, it's massive, and as well as that, you're coming in off the back of something that's impressive, right? We all felt like the Francis Ngannou performance was really impressive, but it wasn't followed up with an impressive performance. So it doesn't actually determine whether or not...
This is worse. This is worse than that. I don't know what you're thinking, Lawrence, but the Ngannou one, you could at least say heavyweight. You could say that his pedigree. So we didn't really... While he was coming from a different kind of method of fighting, end of the day, he's still a champion. We're talking about Jake Paul, guys.
Recent comments from Bart Kwan, Joe Jitsukawa, Ryan Aim, and Steve Green show a big change in how people see Jake Paul in boxing. He used to be dismissed as just a social media star trying to fight for fun. Now more people see him as a real athlete. Analysts say this shift comes from the tougher opponents he has faced, which made him improve his skills, discipline, and strategy. Many fans, trainers, and commentators now agree that he can compete at a serious level, not just put on a show. This growing respect makes his next fights even more important, as they now test both his skill and his place as a true professional boxer.
I'm just saying. I feel like the one that I was mostly from you was the Anderson Silva one. Oh, where Anderson Silva had like 1 sick round where he's like, whoop, whoop, doing it what Anderson Silva does and missing everything and cracks him and whatever. And then he just like the next few rounds, he's back to like just getting his butt kicked by Jake Paul and walking around, doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think these guys are actually getting dropped to like faking. I think Jake Paul actually has that kind of power. I just feel like they kind of know the deal.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. I make a lot of money. You make a lot of money, not as much money as me, but you make more money than you ever would. So you take it. It is what it is. But I don't know. Kind of sucks to see all these legends, right? Like of the sport. Like, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see this guy is losing to freaking Jake Paul.
I will say I loved everything about the Tyson fight in the lead up, and then as I'm actually watching it, I'm like, all right, this is actually fucked up. My bad.
Yeah, it's like senior. Even when he turns around on camera in the interview in the boxing room.
Oh, dude, it was terrible.
Bro, then they show his ass. Oh my god, that was so dirty. It was like such a sweet moment too. He's hugging his son. Everything's cool. Turns away and sees his butt, and it's like, man,
that's not gonna not be funny though.
No, yeah, you gotta laugh at that.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So what's the least amount of money that you would have to take to get into the ring with Jake Paul and lose?
I mean, like right now in my career, I wouldn't do this deal. I'm still on the come up.
TV personalities Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara say this fight is very hard to predict. They think many things are uncertain, including what strategy Joshua might use. They suggest Joshua's team may tell him to hold back some of his power so the fight stays safer for both fighters. This would change the usual style of a heavyweight match and might give Paul chances to take advantage when Joshua slows down. The commentators say this unpredictability makes the fight both exciting and risky.
Right? Yeah. I don't know, mate.
I think it's dangerous.
Yeah,
I genuinely think it's dangerous.
Well, but that's
putting a world heavyweight champion.
But then the cynic,
top 4-5 fighters in the world.
Then the cynic in me tells me,
YouTuber who's never had a proper fight.
Right, the cynic in me straight away goes, I think AJ's probably going to be told, and I don't know this, don't go heavy on him the first round.
No, he can't afford to do that. Anthony Joshua can't afford to do that.
Okay, well, that's where I'm wrestling with my own mind right now. You asked me the question, how do I feel about it? I don't know what to make of it, mate. I seriously don't know what to make of it. I seriously don't.
I think it's a joke.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it.
I'll watch it because
I don't know whether I will, JJ. Honestly, I probably will close the vote. Right now, I don't know whether I will. I don't know whether I will, honestly. I didn't watch. Was it Jake Paul that fought? Who did he fight? Mayweather.
Tyson.
No, Mayweather. I didn't watch that. Who fought Mayweather? Oh, it was. I tell you, it was. Who was the MMA fighter?
Logan Paul. Logan Paul.
The
one that you didn't know the name of, yeah. Logan
Paul, right?
He fought Floyd Mayweather.
I didn't watch that one either, right?
I know, but Jake Paul's got a bit more boxing credentials. He has. Because he
What about McGregor? Who did McGregor fight? Did he fight someone? McGregor, have I made that up?
Yeah, I don't know. Where's your head at?
I don't know, man.
I mean,
they all
it's all over the gaff. You gave Andy your number and you gave him the talk.
His name's Adam.
Adam, sorry. You gave Adam the number.
No.
You said 03717 22
I gave him the sports.
You gave him the sports number.
No, but I don't.
Get your head out.
No, I don't know. I don't know whether I will watch it, actually, if you want the honest truth.
On the Weight Concept podcast, the hosts talked in detail about the big size difference between the two fighters. Clemens explains that Jake Paul usually fights at about 90 kilograms, while Anthony Joshua fights around 111 kilograms. This big weight gap affects punching power, how well each fighter can take hits, and the way exchanges happen in the ring. The podcast says these differences are not just numbers, they have real effects during the fight, changing both defense and attack. Observers warn that Jake needs to prepare carefully for these challenges.
His issues in making this fight, one, yes, that's the former heavyweight champ. Why is he fighting Jake Paul? And two, why is Jake Paul putting his health and well-being on the line? Because someone asked me on Twitter, Wade, if Jake Paul gets knocked out, will his career be over? Buddy, his life may be over if he gets knocked out by AJ, because that dude put Francis Ngannou flat on his back, and I had never seen Francis Ngannou hurt before. Again, it's boxing, not MMA. Jake has a little more experience, but we're talking about a massive size difference. AJ's still relatively young and still relatively got something left in the tank, and he's only fought the world-class guys for the last 10 years. This would be Jake's not only hardest fight, most dangerous fight of his career. If Jake is doing this, it could signal the last one. I'm not even joking. This could signal Jake being like, I'm having one more of these and I'm out. Because where do you go from Anthony Joshua? We'll get into that part in a second, but the Netflix thing. We know that Anthony Joshua is an exclusive fighter to DAZN. Eddie Hearn has stated that multiple times. AJ, I'm pretty sure, even has a piece of DAZN. I could be wrong about that, but he signed a mega deal years ago with them. So for this fight to take place on Netflix would mean DAZN would say, you can have one of our biggest cash draws, and I may be in a revenue share thing, or maybe Netflix pays them some money, but you can have our biggest cash draw, and we don't have an affiliation with it. That seems a bit unrealistic. But having said that, this isn't a report from anybody in the camp. This is not MVP saying it. This is not Eddie Hearn saying it. This is Mike Coppinger, who I guess has talked to people in the camp. But an independent source saying that they are finalizing a deal. Not that they're in talks. They are finalizing a deal. So this is, again, we're talking 1 yard line, first and goal, right? We're right there.
Adam Catatarall worries about making this a full competitive fight instead of an exhibition. He says that without the exhibition rules, Jake Paul faces more danger because Joshua's power and experience are far beyond anything Paul has seen. Exhibitions let fighters show their skills safely, but a full fight leaves little room for mistakes. Catatarall explains this raises the stakes and could have big consequences for Jake's career. Many analysts also point out that Joshua's years against top heavyweights have sharpened his reflexes, timing, and ability to read opponents. Even if Paul is in great shape, he can't fully make up for the experience gap.
AJ's not fought in over a year.
Yeah.
Brutal knockout against Dubois.
Yeah.
Not the same AJ maybe of the past. He's 36. He's got a chance to earn £70 million, maybe to add to the 150 he's already got. Why wouldn't he do it? Because why would he want to maybe for 5 or 10 million fight Fabio Wardley, who's dangerous, Itoma, who's dangerous? Surely from an AJ point of view, it makes sense.
Makes sense. From any fighter's point of view, it makes sense because you're in... Listen, belts don't pay your mortgage, do they? And I know he's got a lot of dough anyway, but 70 million... If someone's going to throw you 70 million quid to fight a lad that struggled and lost to Tommy Fury, you're going to take it, aren't you?
Yep.
So from AJ's point of view, yep, I completely get that. From Jake Paul's point of view, you're leveraging your audience in the world of boxing and making a ton of cash fighting the former 2-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. Mate, most boxing fans would bite your hand off at that opportunity, especially if you're throwing 70 million quid in the pot as well. I've no problem with the promoters. My problem is that it can't be a legitimate fight. Let's be dead honest about this, right?
Eddie Hearn said it will be.
Listen, there is no commission on the planet that can authorise that fight. It's a 2-time unified heavyweight world champion, still in his athletic prime. You just said he's 36. We're not talking Mike Tyson age of 50-odd here now, are we? Olympic gold medalist. He's had 13 world title fights as AJ. 13 of them. Against the very best guys.
And could take his head off.
Like he done Tengana.
It is dangerous.
Yeah.
It is absolutely dangerous. Like I've just said, Jake Paul struggled with Tommy Fury. The levels between these two guys are ridiculous. The commissions cannot sanction that as a legitimate fight. There has to be a rule change. It has to be an exhibition. And then you can have a little bit of a move.
Hold on, Gab. Let's go back to proper boxing. I'm with Cats here. This is ridiculous.
Big story, though.
Oh, listen, it's because it's AJ, because it's Jake Paul. It's going to do numbers and capture people's eyes, right? But there's no way it's a proper fight. It can't be.
Yeah.
Give me 6 pints of Guinness. I'll take on Jake.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for the next one.